As humans, we agree and disagree on many things, but the one thing we can all agree on is the fact that every man needs to know how to fight and how to defend himself. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly how to defend yourself in a fight. I'm going to be teaching you guys every single defense technique that you need to know if you ever get into a fight, or if you're trying to get into boxing or any other martial art. This is going to help you a lot. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be teaching you guys is your stance. Before I even show you guys how to block and defend punches, I want to teach you your stance so that if somebody does throw punches at you, you can actually be stable on the ground and you don't just lose balance as soon as you get hit. So with your stance that I'm about to teach you right now, you're going to be able to move more freely, and you're going to be in the good position for you to actually get ready to block punches and defend yourself. All right, so getting in the stance is actually very simple. The first thing you want to do is you want to keep your legs wider than your shoulder width. Now remember, I see a lot of people keeping the legs too close together, and all that's going to do is as soon as somebody hits you, you're going to fall back and you're going to lose balance. Try it out for yourself. Keep your legs shoulder width. As soon as somebody pushes you, you're going to lose balance and fall back. So don't do that. But also, don't keep your legs too wide, because this is actually going to cause too much pressure on your legs and you won't be able to move around as quickly and freely. So you got to find that perfect sweet spot of your legs not being too wide and not too close. And that is about slightly just, further than shoulder width, just like this. You should be able to spring back and forth freely and feel comfortable. That's how you know you got it right. Because if your legs are too close, you'll lose balance. If your legs are too wide, you're just going to feel too stiff. So keep them slightly, wider than shoulder width. And now keep your hands up, obviously. Now, after this, I'm going to be showing you guys how to defend in this stance, because most people do stay in the stance like this. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to defend punches while you're also in your stance. So move around like this, feel comfortable in your stance, and obviously walk around your room if you have space. Try and get used to, keeping your legs like this, because a lot of you guys might be doing this for the first time and you might not be used to it. So try it out, walk around, get used to the stance, move back and forth. The first defense I'm going to be teaching you guys is the block. The block is very important, especially if your opponent is throwing hooks at you. Now imagine your opponent is coming at you and he's throwing hooks. Naturally, you're going to do this. You're going to block, right? So I'm going to be teaching you how to block with the correct technique. So imagine you're in your stance and somebody's throwing punches at you. I'm going to show you in normal speed first, then I'm going to break it down. So your opponent's throwing punches at you. All you're going to want to do is block. As you can see, he's coming at you. Block, block. As you can see, it looks very simple, and it actually is, because your body's natural reflex to seeing a punch coming like a hook, your hands normally already go up like that in general. It's like a evolutionary thing. But obviously, work on the technique, make it cleaner and sharper. When somebody's throwing a punch at you like a hook, bring that hand up like this and block your cheeks and face with it. So you want to make sure you take up as much of your face as possible to block it, but without obviously leaving your body too exposed. So you want to keep your hands still, kind of tight to your body. And just like that, block. The next defense I'm going to be teaching you guys is the parry. Now, most of the time, you're going to be using a parry, most likely when somebody's throwing a jab at you, which is a straight punch. So you're not going to be blocking like this, obviously, because the punch isn't coming at your cheeks or the side of your face. So the parry is going to be very important when the opponent is throwing a jab at you, when he's throwing straight punches. So this is what the parry looks like in normal speed, and then I'm going to break it down for you like always. So let's say I'm fighting and a guy's coming to throw jabs at me. I'll just go like this. As you can see, all I'm literally doing is patting the punch away. Now remember, when you parry, don't do too much with it. Some people parry like this. They put the whole arm down. And that's the last thing you want to do. Because if you were to do that, your opponent can actually feint you with his jab so that you parry his arm down. And he can come to actually hurt your face with another punch, because he sees that you're dropping your hand too much. So don't drop your hand too much. All you got to do is slightly bring your hand down to pat that punch. Some people call it the pat, and I actually like calling it the pat more than the parry, because it's more like a pat. Your opponent throws a punch, you pat it away. So just like this, pat it down, pat it away. Obviously, when you're patting these punches and parrying them away, try and move straight after. So you parry, move, move, parry, pat that punch away. But remember, don't do too much with your hands. Don't move your hands way too much, because that's just going to cause you to leave openings in your body and face, and you're just going to get knocked out like that. So don't do that. Only use minimal movement. So it's throwing punches, pat, move away, bow, Very, very simple. Try it out for yourself. The next defense I'm going to be teaching you guys is the slip. This is probably one of my favorite ones out there, and the reason is because it's so easy to do and you can do it fast even if you're not a really fast person. So I'm going to be showing you guys what a slip looks like. This is what it looks like, and most of the time you're going to be doing it when your opponent is throwing straight punches again at you. Yes, you can do it if somebody's throwing a hook, but I'm going to be teaching you how to obviously defend the hook after this one. But most of the time, you're going to dodge like jabs and crosses with this. So let me show you what it looks like. So somebody's throwing punches at you, he's throwing straights. You're just going to go like this. Trust me, it's very, very simple. All you got to do is when somebody's throwing punches at you, you want to move your head and your upper body off the center line of your opponent, because obviously he's throwing punches at you straight. So you want to get sideways. So all you got to literally do is when your opponent's throwing punches at you, just slip with your body sideways. Remember, guys, keep that weight on your front leg. Don't keep it on the back leg because you're just not going to be stable at all. So just like this, slip down and kind of come into your opponent at the same time as well. Don't just slip sideways like that. You want to slip but kind of come into your opponent, so that obviously if you practice punches with this, you can slip, cross, you can throw combinations off that point. But remember, slip, kind of come into your opponent a little bit and slightly bend your knees when you slip as well. But remember, the move mainly comes from your shoulders and your waist, sorry. So obviously drop that shoulder like this, drop that shoulder, and if you want to make it even faster, twist your feet with it as well. So just like this, slip, slip. And obviously, sometimes you can throw punches with it if your opponent's open. So you can slip, throw body shots, slip, cross, slip. You can work many combinations and punches from the slip. So definitely practice that one. Now, this is another fantastic defense I'm going to be showing you guys. It is the roll. The roll is very effective, especially because you can really come back with some hard and heavy punches with it. The roll is mainly used when somebody's throwing hooks at you. So this is what it looks like in normal speed, and I'm going to break it down for you after. So the roll is just like this. As you can see, literally just like the name, you are rolling. Now, the reason you're going to be rolling instead of slipping is because when you roll, you're typically going under the person's hook, because when somebody throws a hook, you're not going to slip because you're going to slip right into the punch. But when you roll, you go underneath the hook. So just imagine yourself in a fight, somebody throws a hook at you, you're going to roll underneath the punch, and then you're going to come back with combinations with it, because when you roll, you can come back with a hook, come back with an uppercut, come back with another uppercut, cross. You can throw so many punches off of a roll, and you can even change your direction in the ring as well. So if you roll, you can move your opponent out that way. You can roll this way, move him out. So many things you can do with a roll, which is why it's one of my favorite ones. So remember, guys, when you roll, it's literally just like the name of it. Stay in your stance. Now, you drop your shoulder a little bit and you roll. Remember, guys, when you roll, try to come forward a little bit just so that you can bring that range closer between you and your opponent. So you roll, and I like to step in when I roll as well. So when your opponent's throwing a punch, you roll in, and you can throw your punches back. Bow, bow, bow. Practice it the other way around as well. So roll, step out, uppercut, bow. You can throw so many punches off rolls. And the punches you throw after you roll, they always hit harder, because when you slip, most of the time you slipped pretty quickly. Yes, you can throw hooks, but with the roll, you've already dropped down. You've got more momentum on your legs to come up, bow, 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 bow. Trust me, roll is very good, especially if you come back with a counter punch with it. The next defense I'm going to be showing you guys is the lean back. The lean back is absolutely amazing, especially if somebody's coming at you with straight punches, because you can actually easily counter their punch with this, and it's very, very effective, because most of the time, if you do this right, they're going to end up missing you and you're going to end up hitting them. This is what the lean back is. You're fighting your opponent. Let's say he throws a cross at you or a jab. All you're going to do is lean back, just like that. So lean back. Remember, guys, try and keep your hands close to your face when you do it. Don't try and keep your hands too far out, because sometimes he might just throw an overhand and hit you. Remember, all it is literally leaning your upper body back, just like this. Lean back. Now, you can throw combinations from this, or you can throw a single punch back. Just like this. Let's say your opponent throws a punch at you. You lean back. And what do? Bow. Straight back. So when you're in the ring, lean back, bow. You see? Lean back, bow. Very, very simple and effective. And last but not least, we got the step back. It's pretty similar to the lean back because you're also going to be going back on this one. But the step back is fantastic as well because it actually gives you more momentum to come back with your punches and your counters. So all it is remember, you're in your stance. Similar to the lean back, your opponent's going to be throwing punches at you. All you're going to want to do is literally just step back. That's it. But remember, when you step back, spring off of your front foot. Don't spring off your back foot because that is slower and not as effective as your front foot, because the front foot is obviously going to have more weight on it, and it's going to be a lot more easy to spring back. So just like this, you're here, step back. You see how I did it with my front foot? You're going to step back with your front leg like that. Push off the ground, step back. So you're here, you're fighting, your opponent's going to throw punches at you, and you step back. Just like this, step back, because now you can come back with a punch, uppercut, whatever you want to throw. You can throw so many punches off the step back because it opens the distance up. You can even move around the ring after that. You can step back, move around, step back again, hold your opponent away. Very, very simple. It's so easy to do the step back, guys. Literally all it is step back, like the name. You're here, you're fighting, step back, step back. Remember, don't make the habit of, dropping your hands down when you're doing any of these defenses or steps backs, guys, because you're going to end up getting hit and it's not going to end well. But yeah, guys, that is how to defend yourself in a fight. If you guys are interested in learning how to fight from home, I do actually have a home boxing program down below. It has over 10,000 members. So thank you very much for everybody who has joined. And I also have my very own fighting community as well. Essentially, it's a massive group chat of aspiring fighters. We're all motivating each other. We're also going to be hosting in-person events and training sessions as well. So it's going to be lit, man. So if you guys want to join, the links are down below. But remember, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys later.